friends, it's your friendly neighborhood soup lady, Caroline here, and I'm going to teach you my Hungarian Shepherd soup. It's kind of my take on paprika, and it stars a whole lot of mushrooms, so mushroom fans can rejoice. So it's about 2 pounds of cremini mushrooms. It has a lot of other interesting things in it, namely some Hungarian wax peppers. If you can't find them, you can use Anaheim chilies. I've got some carrots, and I make this cool, like, fresh puree of these bell peppers with some garlic and some other, we've got some dried porcini mushrooms, a lot of paprika, nutritional yeast, and caraway seeds, which I also like to finish the dish. And then it also has some sweet potato and, of course, onion and a can of tomatoes in it. So I can't wait to show you how it all comes together. So we're ready to go. We start off just with some olive oil in a hot pan, and we're cooking some chopped onion and that chopped Hungarian wax pepper or Anaheim chilies that you've removed the seeds and chopped nicely. So we're just going to season that with some salt and cook it until it's nice and soft. All right, so all this is nice and tender, and we're just going to add all these mushrooms. And I know it might seem surprising now that they will collapse down to some reasonable amount of mushrooms, but they will. They always do. It always surprises me. And then I'm just going to season that with some salt, which actually helps the process happen. Then I'm just going to give it a stir and turn up the heat a little bit. So like this is kind of, it'll be like a medium high, whereas before it was probably more like a medium. And so what we're looking for here eventually will be for the mushrooms to start to release their liquid, and then even after that, they'll start to brown. We're getting closer. I can see the liquid at the bottom, but we're still not quite there yet. So what I do is just keep stirring it. I stir it every couple minutes, and I'll keep giving it a stir, but it's amazing how much it's collapsed even now. And see, now it's got even more liquid at the bottom, where you have to wait for all of this to evaporate and concentrate. That also adds to the flavor of the broth. Steamy glasses. So actually, when they start to stick, that's a good sign. It means that all of the liquid has evaporated off, and we're in good shape now to keep on going. So they've collapsed a lot, and there's not a lot of liquid in the pan. That means that all of their mushroom flavor has really concentrated. And so what we're going to do is add the rest of our ingredients. We've got a bay leaf, and now we have that awesome pepper puree I told you about. This was those like 2 fresh peppers, the dried mushrooms, nutritional yeast, a lot of paprika, and some caraway seeds, a couple of garlic cloves. That's, I think, all I've missed in there. And so we add that now. It's a really like earthy, fallish, perfect for cozy weather flavors. We're just going to stir that in, which helps pull up the nice browned mushroom flavor you have at the bottom of the pan. And I'm just going to add the rest of our ingredients. We've got that 1 sweet potato that I've cut into 1 to 2 inch pieces. And so really at this point, the mushrooms are cooked. We're really looking to cook the rest of the ingredients. So we're basically just gonna bring this to, like, cook this long enough to blend the flavors and get those new veggies nice and tender. So I'm gonna add our water. So essentially we just bring it to a boil and then let it simmer for long enough to make those veggies tender, which is about 20 minutes, but I'm going to make sure I add some salt since we just diluted all that good flavor. So like I said, I'm just going to bring this to a boil to get that water nice and hot, and then reduce it to a simmer for about 20 minutes, and then just wait for those sweet potatoes and carrots to get tender. And the flavors will blend by that point. It makes a really, really delicious broth. All right, so we've been simmering for about 20 minutes, stirring it occasionally, and look, it's nice and thick. Our sweet potatoes are nice and tender. And this is a soup that if you happen to have some leftover red wine, I mean, who does? But if you did, this would take a nice slosh. If you wanted to do that, I would add it at the point of after the mushrooms have evaporated all their liquid. I would add a little bit of red wine and then let that evaporate off as well before adding the other vegetables. And so I'm going to give this a taste and make myself a bowl. Let's see what else it needs. This gets finished with some cider vinegar. That's really, really good. It gets finished with some cider vinegar because there are a lot of what I would consider sort of darker flavors in this. You've got that caraway seed and a lot of paprika and those mushrooms. So I think it takes like a nice little brightness, even though it is balanced with those peppers, right? But so tasty. And what's cool about this soup is over time, as those sweet potatoes break down further, it'll get like nice and thicker and glossier. Yum. So perfect. I'm gonna make myself a bowl now. It's like the perfect fall soup, just in time, right? And really lovely for you mushroom lovers out there. All right, I'm gonna add some extra caraway seeds to top it just because I think it adds a nice crunch. That's so good. Thank you so much for joining me here. This week's soup was out of my book Seconds, which I'm currently reprinting, so hold soon. It just won an award too. It won a gold medal for the Independent Book Publishers Award. I'm very, very proud of that, and I hope you pick up a copy. And I hope you join me here next week where I'll be making more soups, as I will every Sunday for my whole soup season, and on Instagram for @slurpsoupclub.com, where you can just get your fill of all kinds of silly soup lady content. But thanks for joining here, and I can't wait to see you next week.